For years, a volcano can look completely dead. No lava, no explosions, nothing. But deep beneath it, something can be moving. And when that hidden pressure finally reaches the surface, the mountain can transform in minutes.
So what actually happens when a volcano suddenly wakes up? In today's video, we are going to learn more about volcanic eruptions, so make sure you watch until the end. A volcano can appear completely peaceful on the surface for centuries because a solid rock cap seals its main vent, preventing lava and volcanic gases from escaping. Deep beneath this structural barrier, magma remains liquid because the surrounding crust acts as an immense thermal insulator, slowing the cooling process over thousands of years. The volcanic system enters a state of dormancy when the internal pressure of the magma chamber balances with the weight of the overlying rock. This equilibrium keeps the molten rock trapped in place. But a fresh influx of deep magma, tectonic activity, or a sudden buildup of volcanic gases can disrupt this stability and force open a path to the surface. So how does magma move toward the surface? The upward movement of magma is primarily driven by buoyancy and intense pressure changes within the Earth's crust.
Because molten rock is less dense than the solid rock surrounding it, it naturally experiences an upward force, much like a hot air balloon rising through cooler air. As the pressure increases or the magma moves upward, dissolved gases like water vapor and carbon dioxide begin to separate from the liquid, forming rapidly expanding bubbles. This process, known as exsolution, dramatically increases the internal volume and forces the high-pressure magma through cracks and fractures in the Earth's crust until it finally reaches the surface. But a volcano doesn't always erupt without warning. It can show clear signs before an eruption. As hot magma rises, it leaves clear clues that it's moving. First, it cracks the underground rock, causing waves of small earthquakes. Second, the magma pushes upward like a balloon, making the ground around the volcano swell and tilt. Third, as the magma gets closer to the surface, it releases volcanic gases and heats up the surrounding area. This can quickly melt snow or cause nearby hot springs to boil. Here's an interesting fact. Before a volcanic eruption, earthquakes often occur. So, what causes them? Earthquakes happen before an eruption because rising magma acts like a giant wedge, forcing its way through solid underground rock. As the magma pushes upward, it bends and cracks the Earth's crust, causing the ground to shake whenever the rock breaks. The magma also has to break through hardened lava blockages inside the volcano's main pipe. This can create thousands of small vibrations as it clears its path toward the surface. Then comes the eruption. In the first few minutes, the volcano's blocked top can violently snap open, like a giant cork popping from a shaken bottle. Hardened rock and thick ash can blast miles into the sky, creating a huge dark cloud. Trapped gases roar out of the opening with enormous force, sending shockwaves through the air and shaking the ground for miles around. But what happens after the eruption? The ash can be extremely dangerous. Volcanic ash isn't soft like ordinary wood ash. It's made of tiny, jagged pieces of crushed rock and glass. When breathed in, these sharp particles can irritate the lungs and make it difficult to breathe. The ash can also become incredibly heavy. A thick layer of ash can put enormous weight on roofs and cause buildings to collapse, especially when the ash becomes wet. Volcanic ash can travel incredibly far, from hundreds to thousands of kilometers away from the volcano, depending on the wind and the size of the eruption. So, can scientists predict when a volcano will erupt? Scientists can sometimes predict volcanic eruptions days or weeks before they happen by watching for clear warning signs. They use special instruments to monitor the thousands of tiny earthquakes caused by rising magma. They also use satellites to watch the mountain for changes in its shape, test the air for volcanic gases, and use heat cameras to detect warming ground. While they can often identify when a volcano is becoming active, it's still very difficult to pinpoint the exact hour or minute when it will erupt. After all these effects, the eruption eventually ends. The surrounding area then enters a phase of cooling, landscape rebuilding, and long-term environmental change. But that doesn't always mean the volcano is finished. A volcano can erupt again after going quiet, as long as it still has a heat source and magma deep underground. Here's the final thought. A volcano may look silent, but deep underground, pressure could be building.
Scientists can monitor these giants, but they can't predict every eruption perfectly. And when a volcano suddenly wakes up, it may already be too late to stop it. This brings us to the end of the video, guys.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the upcoming video.